Okay. Today I would like to share with you a story. It's the story of a little Belgian boy. A boy who had two dreams. The first dream was to be as strong and as fast as Bruce Lee. And the second dream was to travel the world. These two dreams were so important to him. It brought him to a martial arts school at the age of 15. But he realized pretty quickly that he couldn't realize his first dream. So by being dedicated to his dream and by being dedicated to his second dream, he would find himself to be dedicated to martial arts, to train, to teach, and progressively to travel for his passion. And then he became a Globe-Trotter. He grew up with people from all over the world. He had friends from different countries, such as China, Vietnam, Peru, Chile, Morocco, Congo. That's all the people he grew up with. And all his friends would say, explaining stories about their countries. And all these stories were creating images and fantasies in his mind. But at that time, he couldn't travel. So by going to a martial arts school, he started to travel, to train, to learn, and to teach. I'm sure you all guessed it. This little boy is the guy you have in front of you today. And this guy like to call himself what he would say a martial Globe-Trotter. 5. 5 is the number of continents I've visited. 17 is the number of years I've been teaching martial arts. 20 is the number of martial arts I've been practicing or teaching. 24 is the number of years I've been practicing martial arts. 26 is the number of my main martial arts teachers. 29 is the number of countries I have visited. 53 is the number of origins or ethnicities of countries where my teachers or my friends come from. 154 is the number of airplanes I took since my first flight in 1998, exactly 20 years ago. 800 is the estimated amount of days I spent out of my country to train or to teach. Sorry. And 7,000 is the estimated amount of classes I took or give since I started martial arts. Okay, so now let's look a little bit more at the definition of a Globe-Trotter. A Globe-Trotter, according to the dictionary, a Globe-Trotter is someone who is traveling the world, but also someone who is looking forward to meeting new people. When you think about Globe-Trotter, everybody thinks about the traveling part, but most people forget about the meeting part. And that's probably one of the most important part. In the definition, they say also that a Globe-Trotter travels mostly alone. And this part is very important because what I discovered that when you travel alone, you meet even more people than when you travel with your friends, your girlfriend, or your family. And actually, loneliness is one of the toughest parts of traveling. When you travel alone, you feel alone. But as a human being, you don't want to feel alone. You need connections, you need relationships, you need love. So if you travel alone and you don't want to be alone, you have to be open to others. You have to be open to other cultures. You have to be open to meeting new people you don't know. And that's probably the main and the most beautiful part of traveling. And now, what is a martial artist? For probably the average person, a martial artist is someone who is training or maybe teaching martial arts and just practicing it. But like we just saw now with all the presentation we had, we know that martial arts, a martial artist is way more than that. probably martial artist is someone who has built his life around martial arts, is someone who has been so dedicated that martial arts have been very important and in his daily life. And someone who is, at one point, who wants to transmit the values and all the knowledge he had to others and not keep it for himself. It's also someone who will discover strong values, as we just discovered before with the children, and someone who will also have positive goals, train for positive goals, such as transmitting or teaching. And also, in martial arts before, like the warriors before, they were also the protectors, and they were sometimes the healers. They had to know the body because they had to know where to hit and how to cure the wound. And that's the beautiful part about it, because the most dangerous person are also the protectors. And they only fight when they need it, and they fight to protect the people they like. So martial artists also most of the time has this thing in mind. So we can see that martial arts is just not about practicing martial arts, it's way more than that. And fighting actually, as we probably all know, has more meaning than just having a fight. And it can mean having different kind of fights. And the example of Bruce Lee is probably one of the best one. Everybody knows him for his movies. Everybody's knowing him for his art of Jeet Kune Do. Everybody's know because he's a superstar, and a lot of people are quoting him. But what I was interested in for this subject, Bruce Lee actually was one of the first to fight prejudices and stereotypes by teaching martial arts and by practicing it. When he arrived in the United States, he first said that he would teach to anybody, whatever his ethnicity or his race. And at that time, he got in trouble because of that. And so his first student was Jesse Glover. He was black. His second main student was Taki Kimura, who was Japanese. And his third and probably most famous student is Danny Nosanto, who was Filipino origins. And he was teaching all of them. And he got into trouble with the Chinese community because of that. But he would always say, I will teach to anybody as long as they want to learn. And that's something that I really, for someone like me who's traveling a lot and who's meeting a lot of people from different origins, it really makes sense. It was really inspiring, really inspiring. So that's the part I would like to you to remember for today. This part of fighting prejudices and fighting stereotypes and fighting injustice. Also, if we was fighting injustice in the movies because the Chinese characters was always the bad characters. And I probably think it changed a lot because of him. So it brings us to the definition of what a martial Globe-Trotter is. A martial Globe-Trotter, of course, is someone who's traveling to teach or to train or to share his passion with others. Someone who likes to discover different countries, who is open to different cultures, and maybe he was also fighting stereotypes and prejudices throughout training and sharing his experience with others. I consider myself as a martial Globe-Trotter because this relationship with others is as much as important as the training aspect and as the traveling aspect. I don't just train for myself. I train because I like to spend time with my friends, and some of them are here today. So I would say also that a martial Globe-Trotter uses martial arts as a way of traveling and as a way of meeting people. So it's probably another positive part of training. And because of martial arts are all around the world, you can pretty much go everywhere and learn it. And when you learn about martial arts, then you will learn about the cultures and you will learn about others. And that's probably one of the beautiful thing about it. So now let's imagine something. Let's imagine that you are a martial Globe-Trotter, and you have some time and some money, because we need money for traveling. What would be the first country you will pick? Of course, it's going to be Belgium, because we have the best martial arts schools there. And because, of course, the weather is nicer than in California or Southeast Asia. So what will you discover when you go to Belgium? First, you will discover that Belgium is not a city, but it's a country. And then you will have more knowledge about Belgium than your president, Donald Trump. It's true, guys. He said that. I'm sorry for you. It's not my president, so I'm sorry. What will you discover? You will discover that Belgian is not a language. Okay, it's a nationality. You will learn that speaking French is not the same as being French. Because I speak French, people think I'm French, and they say, no, I'm from Belgium. Oh, Belgium, what is this? You will learn that French fries are actually Belgian fries. You will learn that, of course, we have the best beers, the best chocolates, and the best waffles, and George knows that. But it doesn't mean we don't eat it every day. We don't eat our best products every day. You will also learn that Brussels is not only the capital of Belgium, but the capital of Europe. And the Brussels sprouts are more famous outside of Brussels than inside of Brussels. So when you travel, that's just an example to show you that when you travel, you have to be in contact with people, and you learn a lot about the countries where you go. So when I traveled and I learned about martial arts, I learned way more than just the techniques and the methodology and the art. I learned about the culture and the people. So probably one of the best things to do, could happen to someone, is to have time to travel, and that's why I'm trying to do it as much as I can. And traveling the world, discovering different countries, meeting people you don't know, meeting cultures you don't know, try to cross the boundaries, the language boundaries, borders, sorry, the language borders, the relationship borders, the culture borders, the food borders sometimes. It's pretty hard, but it's really worth it, and it's something that brings you something you can't have if you stay in your own country. And that's probably one of the best things that happened in my life, is to be able to have time and to be able to travel in so many countries and meet so many people, and made some very good friends, even some of my best friends, through training and through traveling. And that's why I consider myself today really as a world citizen and not just only a Belgian. And ultimately, I think martial arts and this traveling and all this meeting people are probably the main thing that helped me to be a better person. Thank you very much.